I'm your host, Jade.
And I'm your host, Emma.
And this is
Lashing Out and Nailing Life.
Okay, we haven't talked to you guys in a minute.
Yes, we took a little break.
Emma had some vacation time, and my brother came into town, so...
Yeah.
Yeah.
How was that? Was that good?
It was really good.
Nice.
I miss him a lot when he's away. We don't talk that much when he's away. But then when he comes back, it's back to normal. How was your trip?
It was good. I went and visited my grandparents, and the weather was opposite here versus there. So it was, while I was there, it was snowing, and they live on the East Coast. And then when I came back here, it was warm. So I was like, oh, okay. But anyways, today we are talking about the reality of social media versus reality, and all of those fun imposter syndrome-y things.
I think it's funny because you think social media is bad with your own personal account, and then you start running a business social media, and it's 10 times more complicated and 10 times harder. And you're 10 times harder on yourself as you're doing it.
Oh, man. I still don't understand the algorithm. I don't know what it wants from me. I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing.
I think the issue behind that really is the fact that Instagram changes how they want it to work so much.
Yeah.
Because I think Instagram doesn't know what they want.
Yeah. Probably. I just feel like I hear so many different things about, like, oh, you should say this and you shouldn't say that, and you should put the text on the screen, but, like, what if you have a video where that makes it look bad?
Yeah.
But then... yeah, I don't know.
The biggest thing that people do nowadays that honestly bothers me as a consumer is they will put on the top 5 tips and tricks on how to, for example, grow your business. Mm-hmm. And, like, I will sit there watching the video and then I'll quickly realize, oh, the tips and tricks are in the caption. So then if you're scrolling through Reels and you open the caption, half the time, because the caption is written in white, depending on what the video is, you can't even freaking read the caption. And I don't know if people know this or not, so this might be really good for people to know. Sometimes you cannot read what's in the caption, and at the end of the day, now I have wasted my time watching the video thinking you were going to type the rest of it on the screen, and you haven't. And second of all, I have now tried to open and read it, and I can't read it because it's clashing against the background.
Interesting. I never thought about that, and I wonder if that's why, like, from my thing, I've been noticing a lot of nail techs post really dark content, like, just in general, and I wonder if it's because if it's a reel, you can actually read the captions.
That might
something
be that
like
other
that.
People have noticed, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I know that they do that because it makes your watch time more if people read the whole thing. Because it plays the reel in the background, and Instagram isn't like TikTok where you can, like, pause it and read the caption. It just plays in the background the whole time.
So then you have to mute it because the sound starts to annoy you.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, but that's been one of my little pet peeves recently is when I try to read somebody's caption and I can't read it because it doesn't show up against the background.
Well, and that was something that changed was, it went from put the tips and tricks in the video to put it in your caption.
Yeah.
It's better that way. And I'm like, what if you do both? I don't know.
I feel like if you went in the video and had, like, just, like, the 2 words for each one of, like, what the basis was, and then in your caption expanded
more detail.
on them.
Maybe I'll try that next. We'll see. I'm, like, re-experimenting with what does well because I started a series on my Instagram where I ripped all my nails off and I was like, oh, I'll make this educational. So I was like, I ripped all my nails off so you don't. And the first video did super well. Yeah. And then I did the second one. It was awful. It was like 100 views, 2 likes. Like, nobody saw it. And then I was like, that's so weird because it was the same. It even had more information than the first one. So I don't get it. I already got off topic. We whatever. Anyways.
That's how this is most of the time. You just get our train of thought. As we don't actually stop at the stations.
I have notes and I'm like, we're going to stay organized in our thoughts. And then I am not organized in my thoughts ever.
That's what makes us an authentic podcast.
Yes, exactly.
There's no script, guys.
Yes.
I hate to break it to you.
I feel like social media, especially like if you're trying to be, even on your personal, even if it's not business related, it's so, like, it can be so fake. It can really just be so, I don't know.
Scripted.
Yeah, scripted.
Like, a lot of people, I mean, I can tell, like, friends' personal Instagram accounts who scripts their account and who plans, like, I can almost tell where they've planned to take their next picture. Because, like, if you go to their page, you can see what kind of pictures they're posting all the time. And it's almost like they base their life around their social media. Like, it feels like that. Whether that's true or not, it might not be. But it looks so scripted, almost like a TV show.
And it's, like, perfectly planned out. And I used to be like, oh, they're just whipping this together. But even now as a business, I'm like, oh, my gosh.
Yeah, I can't even plan my business
It takes
content,
me 30 minutes to edit something on Canva. Like, geez.
Well, that's something that affects both personal and business accounts is the editing. And just editing and modifying photos. And I personally, in my field as an esthetician, the only time I think editing is necessary is A, if a client has asked, but B, if there's anything in the photo that distracts from the lashes. But my personal issue with the beauty industry on, like, editing pictures is I feel like that makes the content less authentic, because once you've edited part of it, people looking at it who have noticed that part of it is edited are going to start wondering if the lashes have been edited, if the nails have been edited, the hair has been retouched. Like, it's just going to lead to a spiral.
Here's a big one. Here's a big one that gets... I feel like less people edit nail pictures unless somebody... Maybe... I have clients who pick... And I don't know if I've posted any when their cuticles are really bad. But I've noticed that some people, you can tell when they've blurred out, like, something that wasn't there. They didn't snip them. Or if they did snip them and they're trying to hide it. But hair is a big one that, like, oh, that blonde looks really blonde. Or I know I've talked with our friend Jayla. Shout out. And I'll tell this story because it still is crazy. She had this client come in who was doing, like, a gray blending, like blending back into her natural gray, and went to this, like, Instagram known person. They totally messed up her hair. It looked awful. And then we went back and we were looking through their pictures and we were like, oh, you can tell where they've, like, brushed it up to make it look more blended. Oh my gosh. Than it really was in real life. So it's not worth it. If you feel like you need to edit your videos, you need to work on your technique. Or your pictures or whatever it is.
Well, whether it's the video or the picture. Yeah. If you feel like you need to edit it, then...
You need to work on your technique.
Because I think the one thing with lashes that happens with a lot of us as lash artists is we'll take pictures not realizing that one lash looks out of place. And then some people will edit that and other people won't edit it. I never edit it because that's just the truth of the matter is sometimes the lashes end up laying crooked because your natural lashes move around with them. And it really does come down to, like, brushing through them correctly, and it's just... And
as, like, a consumer and seeing your pictures, I don't think I've ever noticed.
Yeah,
like, if you've posted one, it's like, do you really... Yeah.
And the consumer is not nitpicking. Because half the time the consumer is looking at it going, wow, those are amazing lashes. They're not, like, going, oh, what's wrong with them?
Yeah. And segueing into the imposter syndrome, there have been... some artists where I'm like, wow, their art is so... And don't get me wrong, there's some artists out there that do wild work, like, holy cow. But there are a few where it's like, oh, I could never recreate that. Their lines are so smooth. And then I look at it and I'm like, that line's actually wiggly. How did I not notice that before? Because, like, the whole picture looks really nice versus...
Yeah, whereas when you zoom
focusing down on it, so...
Yeah. But imposter syndrome's a big thing.
Yeah. Yep. Oh boy. I could talk about that for forever. I was just telling Jade I saw someone who did on tiny nails, tiny press-on square short nails, that, like, dolphin meme where it's like the dolphin in the ocean and it's like, I don't know, Lisa Frankie. I can't remember what the actual meme is, but and they hand painted it and I was like, "Oh my god." And what I hate, because if I could do that, I want to know how long it takes.
That was what I was going to say, is A, how long it takes, and B, how much is she charging for them? Like,
because if you're charging $1,000 and it took you an hour to whip out that masterpiece, good for you. But I also want to know if it took you, like, 3 days.
Yeah.
And you still charged $1,000 or whatever for it. But, like, I want to know how long it takes people, especially when people come in asking me, not for that specific design, but come in and ask me for certain things. It's harder to gauge. A lot of them will send me Instagram link inspo, and it's hard to gauge, like, oh, will we be able to fit that? Because it looks like I would be able to do it in that time, but once you get into it, sometimes it takes longer and you don't realize.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. I always make mistakes with timing-wise is my colored lashes. I always think they'll take the same amount as doing a plain black set, but boy, is, like, organizing color and laying it out gonna take so much longer. So that's the thing, like, I need to know in advance and see online. But that's something also where I get imposter syndrome with, is because, like, I take forever to do those colored sets, and then I see these lash artists that special in colored sets, and I'm like, well, there's no way that they're constantly spending 4 to 5 hours on a full set. But I also don't know that.
Right.
Their full sets might take 4 to 5
And it
hours.
all depends on how often you do things too, because I definitely feel like like if that's all they do, then of course they get faster because that's all they do.
Yeah.
But again, it's good. It makes you feel less alone if you're looking at something like that and you're like, wow, she specializes in this and it takes her only 30 minutes less than me versus when it's so much.
But yeah, imposter syndrome's an ugly one. And it's
yes.
I think the issue is you don't know what's reality and what's not on social media anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Like yours, I'm assuming you zoomed, like it definitely was hand painted, but it looked almost AI.
Which one? Oh, the dolphin one.
Yeah, they looked almost AI.
Yeah.
And because of AI nowadays, I find myself questioning some things. Mm-hmm. And I think that's where there is like a fine line between like how much editing you can do nowadays. Because if you do over edit a picture or a video, then it's really gonna
look weird.
It can start to look like AI. And I strictly don't edit any of my pictures and videos. Maybe it's laziness. I don't know. My excuse is I want it to all look real.
Yeah.
But I think we're getting to a point where you have to be careful about editing because of AI. And AI is slowly getting so much better that it's going to become harder and harder to distinguish.
Yeah, the nail ones can be crazy. There are some where it's really obvious and you're like, that's not real. And sometimes my clients will send me one where I'm like, well, did they just smooth it out? And I'm like, that's a nuts. Like, we definitely can't do that. But also, did someone actually do that? Or is that just...
It's hard to tell sometimes. And there's just way too many people in this world that aren't honest about whether they actually did it or not.
Yeah.
So.
Even today, I was doing my mom's toes, and she gets nail art on her toes. And we were looking at some, and it was a full AI picture, but it was like something I could have done. Yeah. And I was like, that's so weird that's like a simple AI. I've never seen one where it's simple. Yeah. I have one client, she always sends me stuff, and she just uses it for like color inspo and like the color palettes we're going to use. But she sent me one time, and it was like these super hyper realistic, like dragon eye, cat eye eyeballs. Okay. And I was like, oh... And she was like, these are just the vibes. And I was like, thank God. Because I don't think I could do that in 10 minutes. Yeah.
That's where imposter syndrome becomes like an issue, though, because then you don't know whether you're looking at AR or not. And you don't know if you're literally setting your standards to an unrealistic level. Yeah. But I think that's the biggest thing to get over, which I haven't gotten past it, and I'm sure you haven't either. Yeah. But it's one of those like daily battles where it's like, I don't know, imposter syndrome's silly because everybody's where they're meant to be. And I also, like, wherever they are now, you can get there because I can guarantee they once were where you are. So it's...
My biggest thing is it definitely ebbs and flows because I will fully be like, wow, that girl is doing so much and, you know, she's not that much older than me and she hasn't been, you know, I feel like I should be kind of in the same position as they are now. And then I'll find out, like, oh, they've been licensed, like, much longer than I have. And just because she's 4 years older than me, she's been licensed for 10 years because of whatever. I don't know what age that makes. I'm bad at math. But I recently found that out with someone. I was like, man, she has, like, 3 clients, and the rest is just content creation. And she posted a video about like how much she's made just from her content creation each month, which that makes me feel bad. I have a love-hate of that because I'm like, wow, that's so cool. I hope I get there. And then I'm like, oh my God, you made $30,000 in 1 month from your nails. That's nuts. And it wasn't even from her doing that much, you know? But anyways, and then I was like, oh, she's been doing nails for 15 years. So I feel okay because I'm like just now getting to, I think, that like 4-year mark, 5-year mark, something like that.
I'm at 5 years. I don't know when you. So you must be the same-ish.
Yeah, probably maybe almost 6 then. I get confused because me going into a salon was like one big blur. So I have to like go back and actually count.
5 years ago was COVID, and that was when I was in school. So I know it was 5 years ago.
Yeah, so then it's probably 5 years. I don't know.
I just have a definitive marker because, you know, COVID just kind of looms in the timeline.
It's so funny, though, because people will ask me, how long have you been doing this? And I'll be like, 3 years. And I've been saying 3 years for the last 3 years. Like, you know, like one of those, I'm like, I have no concept of time. And I need to look at my, like, when I actually graduated and see, because I don't know. Yep, speaking of fake things, I've noticed an uptick in, fake stories.
This one literally cracks me up. The trending thing right now is to fake it till you make it, which essentially means people are posting on their story what their schedule is for the day.
Mm-hmm.
And I can guarantee, I'll say it's 50-50. I won't put it higher than 50-50. But I want to bet it's 50-50 of those are not accurate.
Mm-hmm.
Because, as you said earlier, it's becoming a thing that posting your availability is a weakness.
Mm-hmm.
Which is insane.
It sucks, too, because you have to be careful about how you post it. And I had a day recently where, I don't know why, but I just had this whole, like, 6-hour gap in my day. And I was like, oh, I'll do like a model set or something. And one, nobody ever takes those appointments.
That's so frustrating.
It's so frustrating because I'm like, I'm literally giving you free nail art. You are just paying for the base of your service. And I'm giving you detailed tier 3 hour and a half nail art for free. And it doesn't say you can't rebook after that appointment, you guys. Like, anyways, and, or like I post openings and stuff and you're not supposed to say like, oh, I have an opening this today, you should do this. Or, oh, you're only supposed to do it like so much time out. 'Cause then it looks, I don't know. It's super weird.
I had started to try and do it where like before each week, if I had like a last minute spot or 2 available the following week, I would post it. But again, nobody really takes those.
I know. Which is
great.
And I only post them after I've contacted everyone on my wait list because they're on my wait list. But yeah, I don't know why. And that's something else that makes me feel bad is I see other artists and they will do, this is a one-time opportunity. You don't get to do anything after this. This is the only time you will ever get to come in and see me and let me do your nails. And they get snatched up so fast.
Yeah,
because
like you see that was posted 2 hours ago and then posted now.
Yeah.
Taken.
And they're not even doing like, this is a model set. They're like, and it's going to be $250.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I'm sure that's just to fill in their time, you know, oh, they're just posting, and then it gets taken, and you're like...
Those are something else, though, that I wonder if they're faking it till they make it.
Could be.
Because these are things that you...
Maybe I should start doing that. Giving away my secrets.
I don't understand. Like, I kind of get it, but I kind of don't. Because you're trying to build this urgency with people to book with you. That's why you're trying to look busy. I do understand where the idea is coming from. However, I thought 2025 was supposed to be the year of being authentically you on your social media and on your business account. And this whole thing that's, like, sliding into place is going against being authentically you.
When it cracks me up, because people aren't even, like, trying hard enough to fake it sometimes. Like, if it's people we know.
Yeah.
And time zones and whatever, I will go and look on their booking site and see if I can book at a time that they said that they already had an appointment. And sometimes they do. And you're like, how did you say you were fully booked today?
Yeah.
If I had this and you only posted that an hour ago, so I doubt everyone canceled within within the hour. I don't know.
Well, it's like you and I can tell because some of them share the spaces we're in, and like you can tell when they're in their room and when they're not
when they're not there.
So like sometimes I walk past and I'm like, well, you said you were in all day. You are not in all day.
I know, that's weird too. Definitely when they're in the same building and you walk by and you're like, didn't you say you were here from 9 to 7 today? This is weird. It's only 9:15 and you're not here.
You already left. You just came in and posted it.
Yeah, weird.
Yeah, so like I understand the like want to do it and the desire to do it and the urgency that it drives, but I just think there's an extent to how necessary it is.
Yeah. And I did it for a while where I would post my schedule for the day, but it wasn't doing, like, I don't get the point. Like, I get that, it's supposed to create the urgency, but I don't get the point of what it does. Because, like, if you are saying, I think I've mentioned this in a previous episode, Square even has a setting where it's like a fake. Yes. It'll make your bookings look more sporadic, which I personally, like, just... the organized person in me would hate if I had a gap because they did that. Yeah. Sorry, we had a little interruption there. I don't know. I think I don't really get the point of posting it because it's either going to create, like, it either actually works for you and you're like, wow, people are booking with me, or it doesn't. And that's kind of how mine was I wasn't getting anything from it. Like, no one was like, I'm going to book with her because she posts her schedule every day.
Well, I feel like you run the risk of looking so busy that people are like, oh, why would I bother? Like, clearly there's no time in her regular schedule for me to book a new appointment. But again, as a client myself, to other people, I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know if that sounds rude or
when
wrong.
I typically click through it, like, I'm not...
I never read it.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm not gonna read what your whole day is.
But
especially because some people will fill in the gaps with, like, Target run.
I was just gonna say. And then you get the people that are like, yeah, breakfast with friend, volume fill, run to Target, volume fill, go for dinner. And I'm like, okay, so you had
dogs to vet, pets to vet, whatever.
So you had 2 clients, but to make it look like when you're clicking through, because if you don't read it,
I guess
it looks like you have like 6 or 7 bullet points.
Yeah.
But those ones make me cringe almost harder, because I'm like,
yeah.
Like,
and then, like, my services are so regular, like, the same, that for me to post it, it's just like, I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me.
Well, that's the same with all the lashes. It's like 1 week fill, 2 week fill, 2 week fill, 3 week fill, 2 week fill, and it's like.
And okay. I almost get posting it on days when you have like a service you don't talk about a lot.
That's what I do.
Yeah.
Like if I have a day with more facials in it, or like brow lamination, brow wax, because then it's advertising. Hey, by the way, I do these things.
I do this also.
Those are the days when I'll post it.
Yeah, I think that's a good.
Or if I'm doing
way.
a model set with a specific color, I'll post that I'm doing that. Not that I did that today, but sometimes I'll be like model set with pinkum ginger lashes.
Yeah, that's gonna be cute.
I'm so excited to post those pictures. I actually haven't looked at the pictures because I don't want to know how they turned out, because I'm gonna be sad if none of them came out talking about imposter syndrome.
I know. I hate that though, because sometimes I've even taken a picture of your nails and been like, it's just a little too blurry. I can't post it.
Yes, exactly. My biggest pet peeve with social media is when I have taken, because I am a nightmare. Any of my clients who have modeled for me know I take probably 100 to 200 collective like pictures, videos when I'm doing model sets. And my biggest pet peeve is when I get to posting and I'm looking through my 100 to 200 and I don't like any of them. To me, none of them feel good enough, and it's getting to a point where I probably should have somebody else look through them and heart the ones they think are good enough, because I'm probably being so hard on myself that to me, they're all a no-go. But to anybody else who is not me, they'd be like, okay, you have 20 good pictures in here. Mm-hmm. I actually just thought about that now. That was a thought.
That's how I feel sometimes about, like, me picking out nail colors, because I typically gravitate towards buying the same colors, and I'm like, the next time I want to buy colors, I need to have someone else, like, look at colors. And
if I should get, like, consumers to look through my pictures and be like, no,
maybe that's what you post on your story. Vote. Yeah. Which one do you want to see on my page?
Which one of these to the main?
Yeah. Oh my goodness. I feel like there is just so much pressure to be like,
everything has to be perfect. Mm-hmm. Like, it's so,
everything has to be perfect, but so it's giving no makeup look.
Yes, exactly. Like it's supposed to look low effort, but it's high effort.
I know. And then people say, oh no, your content is supposed to be low effort. It doesn't matter. People gravitate towards content you whip out in 3 seconds. Also not true. There are videos that I've done that have taken like, yeah, like sometimes it works, but like there are videos that have taken more time but look like they took less time that have done better than videos I've done that are like 3 seconds. I literally just like clipped them together and put a trending sound on it. Yeah. And then like, I don't know how to, I feel like I'm getting into a rut of how to advertise myself now, because I am like, my books are closed. So I feel like sometimes I'm like, oh, I should try and focus on more nail tips, but then am I posting that too much? You know? Okay, yeah. So I don't know what to do sometimes, and I'll just be like, I don't care. I'm just going to post it so Instagram goes, hey, she's still active.
And I think that's what I need to do, is I need to get over the whole, like, it needs to be perfect and just post. Because that's what I've been told so many times, is people are like, well, just post. And it's like, but if it doesn't look good, I don't want to post it. And I also have this whole issue of, I go and I look at, like, when you click on your profile, it shows, like, the bio and everything, and it shows a select number of pictures. Mm-hmm. And I get so in my head about, like, what were the last 3 I posted, so what does my next one need to be for it to all line up?
I do that.
And, like, right now, what I want to post to be easy and lazy is just some lashes I've done, so I don't have to edit a Canva post or a cover for a reel or anything like that. Yeah. But if I post that now, it's an eyeball over there that's going to slide down, and then I'll have 2 eyeballs stacked on top of each other. And though to nobody else, they probably don't care, I will forever look at that and care.
Well, and that's the thing too, is like I follow some people who you look at their page, it's pure chaos. Like you look at it all together and you're like, none of these pictures are the same. None of the lighting is the same. Some are outside, some are inside. The color palettes don't match. Everything's weird. And they have 10,000 followers and they get all these views and all these likes. And then here I am. What I will say that I do is if I have a strip of 3 aesthetic pictures and I don't have any and I just want to post like my eyelashes or nails or whatever, and I will just then I'll be like, okay, well now I just have to post 3 in a row of that, and that gives me time.
Oh, that's fair.
So I do try to line up to where I have like a center post.
Okay.
So like I would show you, but we're using my phone. But like I have like my Wednesday nail wisdoms.
Yeah.
And so those are kind of my guide. And then if I post, or I'll try to have 2 end ones that match. Because inevitably when things get pushed over, it makes things look weird anyways.
Yeah, which is true.
So,
I don't know.
And I got really like, okay, well I'll pin that one so it makes it look better. And then I won't pin this one. Or I'll archive that because it didn't do well and it messed up the flow anyways. And
I don't think I've ever archived anything on my business account. I think it's all just
I've had mine since beauty school.
Oh, okay, that's totally different.
And I definitely archived some of my really old stuff.
Totally fair.
Also just because it looked like I had I think it was something like 700 pictures, and I was like, nobody's looking at 700 pictures.
Now, if you scroll to the bottom of mine, you'll see like my work from when I started my business to now, which
is
kind of cool.
You'll have that with me too. I still have a lot from the old salon I was in, but yeah, I don't get it. And then again, sometimes I see people and their pictures are awful. Yeah, and I'm like, their pictures are awful, and for some reason their stuff gets saved, but mine didn't. And I'm like, and we did nothing different. Especially when someone brings in an inspo pic where I'm like, those are really ugly. And not like the design is ugly, but the way that it was executed was ugly. Yeah. And then I do it and they're like, it's better than the original. And I'm like, woo, because they, like, what? And then I don't know if it's because people think it's on purpose and that doodle design is kind of like in. Oh. But sometimes I'll see stuff where I'm like, really? They couldn't make a better star? Like, it's not that, I say it's not that hard, but if you can't make a star, it's okay. But there's stuff where I'm like, but I see the likes on it, and it's like, really? My picture's going to look so much better. The design is going to be executed way better, in my opinion, and no one's going to see, like, I say no one. I'll have my usual people see it, but it won't be nearly... Or, like, especially if I see that picture, it has no caption, no hashtags, it maybe has one emoji of a heart, and it has, like, 32,000 likes, and you're like,
how did anybody see it?
This is so weird. I don't understand.
TikTok had an algorithm when I started using it back in 2020. Like, I really got it nailed down. But I couldn't tell you what goes on.
Oh, it feels so random now. Especially the For You page. Like, I get the meme of people in the comments being like, I laid this brick. Or don't know what I did, but somehow I, must have clicked something that I liked. And we were talking about this because I said I was probably going to bring it up. I am obsessed with this guy who makes fun of in fun, the TikTok account Love Luxury, which is a business that resells primarily Hermes bags. And if you look at his account, I don't remember his name or I would tell you who it is, but if you look at his account, everything before that, couple thousand views, couple hundred views, whatever, and it's just like him living life. And then the Love Luxury parodies are thousands, millions of views, and the way that he popped on mine was totally random. I didn't even watch Love Luxury. I think it just knew that I liked, like, comedy, and somehow it was like, oh, you'll probably like this. And so then I went down the Love Luxury hole, and anyways, it's pretty... I definitely
do end up with random things on my For You page and on my Reels page. I think Reels is a lot more random. Half the time I don't know where Reels pulls their stuff from. Because sometimes something pops up and I'm like, ew, next thing. Like, I don't know. And the things that can get posted on Instagram Reels is also wild to me sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, this is all... Okay.
It's really strange.
That's why I never believe, like, these courses that are sold that are like about growing your account and like how to do it, and this is how the algorithm works, and it's like
they're all the same and they're all dumb.
Well, I've tried every tip in the book. First of all, you don't really need to buy a course. You can do enough research on YouTube and reading articles if you really want to.
Well, you took like a marketing class, didn't you?
I'm slow. I'm still taking it, but that's actually a legitimate like college.
Does that one feel like
it's a legitimate level
good,
digital marketing course. That one's actually so I can get a second job. It sets me up with interviews and everything. So if anybody's looking for a digital marketer, I'll be ready by the end of April to start doing legit digital marketing. Now, that being said, if you go to my Instagram, I haven't posted in almost a whole month, so disregard.
I'll be curious if like when you're done with the class and applying things from that class, I feel like we've talked about this already, but if it does, like if you notice a difference.
The biggest things that I'll be applying from, and I've actually started applying them right now, is to my website, digital marketing wise. Like I have my Gloss Genius for booking, and that's what all of my clients are familiar with. But the funny thing about booking sites, Gloss Genius, Square, Vagaro, any of those, is Google doesn't push them at all. So unless you have your own personal website, like I have highdefinitionaesthetics.com, that's my personal website. Unless you have a personal website, I hate to break it to you guys, your business isn't showing up on Google unless you've managed to make your your Google business page really strong.
I've noticed that.
Yeah, your business page is not going to show up if you just have like a Gloss G. If you just have a booking site, it's not going to show up. I'm sorry.
Tip. I used to use the Square site.
Yeah.
To go with my Square booking site.
Mm-hmm.
And it was really expensive. And so I ended up doing a Google site, which it does take a little extra like fidgeting with, and I didn't need it to look like the Square site definitely was giving like photographer, like it, and I didn't need to post as many pictures of my content on the homepage and stuff. And even with just using the Square site, but like that separate thing, like where it's a website that happens to have your booking site embedded in it, I think makes a big difference, because people will Google, like I get a thing from just Google because I have a Google business page, and it'll tell me like the search results and stuff, and people will just Google nail salon Parker, and I'm one of the first things that comes up. And they used to say, speaking of algorithms changing, they used to say that the only way you would pop up as one of the first like 5 things is once you reached 100 100 reviews.
Oh, interesting.
And the old salon I worked at told us that because they wanted us to get our clients to review us and stuff, and I was like, oh my gosh, it's gonna take forever. And even though I do, I have clients that turn over and stuff, I think I only have like 25 reviews. A lot of my clients just don't care. Like, they don't care. They're like,
I don't care, because I don't think I've reviewed yours. I forget.
I don't know. Right, or forgetting. But that's what I mean, is none of them are like, oh my god, I have to go review Emma or her business.
My thing that I do for all my clients personally, and it's helped a lot, and they all go and do it immediately, is I just give them $10 off their following appointment after they've reviewed me.
I do that.
See, $10. I send a text though to them like after. Oh, okay.
That's why. Fair. That's why in the beginning it was really, because I was sending it personally too. So it was like, hey, how'd you like your appointment? If you live in blah blah blah. But I have some clients too that I think it almost. They've never said it, but just after I've gotten the vibes from them, I feel like they almost are like, well, I don't need your discount. Like, I'm going to pay for the luxury service. I don't need a discount. So sometimes I'll send them one that says they get $5, and if they don't do it, then I send them one that says they don't get $5 and see.
That's fair. My clients just always put it back in the tip. I watch them go in and make sure they've factored in the $10 I've taken off, which I love you guys for doing it, but you just don't have to.
Yeah.
I'm grateful from any tip from $5 to, I hate when people give me more than $50. I don't hate it. You can give me more than $50 as a tip. It's fine. But it's one of those things where I'm like, ew, that's a lot of money.
Oh, I've called clients and been like, so I just saw how much you tipped me, and that was a lot, and I think that was on accident. And they'll be like, no. And I'll be like, are you sure? Are you sure?
We get nervous, guys, when you tip big numbers.
Well, especially because, like, it's a joke. Like, with my system, people will hit the 00, and it'll do, like, they mean to tip 10, and instead it says 1,000, and they'll go, haha. I'm not actually tipping you $1,000. That was an accident. And so when people do, I'm like, oh my gosh, were you trying to only tip me this much and instead you tipped me that much? And they'll be like, no. And I'll be like, okay.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm glad you think I'm worth this much.
Yeah. No, it's cute and I love it and it's a fuzzy feeling.
Yeah.
But I've also, going back to social media, because that's what this is supposed to be about,
I know, we get
review form wise. My issue is I love my clients. I love all of you, but you guys aren't good at posting on your story about when I do your lashes. And I always get so jealous when I see these other lash artists and they're able to repost their clients' stories of them like saying about getting their
I feel like
lashes
we'll
done.
do it with each other. Like other business owners will do it.
Yeah, because we like proactively think about it. And I think I have more of a mature client base and I love them with all of my hearts, and I think a lot of them don't have Instagram, which is totally valid and understandable. Mm-hmm. If I didn't have a business, I would possibly throw out Instagram because it's toxic. I don't enjoy
toxic,
it.
Yeah.
Is one of my pet peeves when they got rid of TikTok is like, yes, TikTok is a little out there, but if you scroll through the comment section on TikTok versus a comment section on Instagram, the difference is crazy. TikTok has different sides of it, so this might not be true for everybody, but the side of TikTok I am on is a very validating, supportive community. Mm-hmm. Like, I rarely see much toxicity in the comment section, whereas scrolling through Instagram Reels, it is so toxic. It almost promotes toxicity. Like, you have to...
And it's really bad. Like, there will be some TikTok videos where the comments will say... All the comments are like, I don't know why you guys are being so mean to her, and you can't find the negative comment or whatever. Versus Instagram, they'll all be first. It'll all be, and the ones I get on my business one are, I would never pay that much for that. And you're like, they just hand painted a realistic Ice Spice portrait. What are you talking about? Or, you know, even in like some of the groups that I'm in on Facebook, it's kind of like that too.
No, Facebook and Instagram are just like more toxic than TikTok is, and everybody can have their opinion on that. I know there are so many TikTok haters out there, which is fine. Hate it. I like it because it's a positive
and
environment.
If you're on negative TikTok, maybe you should look within yourself because you laid that brick.
I was gonna say, you somehow found your way there, because I like maybe see one negative TikTok a week, if not one negative TikTok a month.
My TikTok consists of the luxury parody guy and the girl who makes crystal dream jars.
I see the girl who like buys the thrift shop jars of jewelry and then she
like
goes
sorts through them.
Sometimes
those anger me, so that's why they're not on my.
I only watch the first minute because I don't have an attention span. If you're posting a 10-minute video on TikTok, I'm not watching all of it.
We're getting off topic again, but I am a jealous thrifter.
Oh, okay.
So when I watch somebody pull out something super cool and I'm like, I can never get that.
That's fair.
And I'm like, that is so dope. I'm jealous.
There's a bougie thrift shop in Denver called, I don't know, it's from Goodwill, but it's all their expensive stuff that Goodwill gets.
Yeah. I don't know. I went to my first estate sale a couple weekends ago, courtesy of a client telling me what app she uses to find them. And that was pretty fun. I got some cool stuff for our apartment for when that happens.
And that's something you could have posted on your business account.
I know.
I think that's the thing I struggle with.
I don't know.
That you're supposed to do is you're supposed to use your story to post like your personal, there's oversharing. But like you're supposed to use your story on Instagram to post like some of your personal life. So, like, for example, like, going to an estate sale, like, not even necessarily, like, showing what you bought while you were at the estate sale, but, like, just showing you were there and, like, maybe just taking a picture of the table or whatever the case was. Mm-hmm. But, like, I struggle. My personal life is the same thing over and over again. I'm either reading a book, at the gym, hanging out with the same 3 friends.
Yeah, that's kind of how mine is, too. Well, and then sometimes I feel like a fake micro-influencer. Like, I don't go to estate sales regularly enough for me to feel like, if I post this, it makes sense because all my clients know I'm obsessed. Because I do have a couple clients, like, they go to estate sales pretty regularly, and now that's something that they post on their social media is, like, their hauls from the estate sales.
Okay, that's valid.
And I'm like, that makes sense because that's, like, part of your life. Like, I don't...
So I could post me going to the gym all the time.
And see, like, I don't even know if I would do that because...
No, that's why I don't do it, because it's the same thing. It's the same gym.
Yeah.
I don't own an unlimited amount of gym outfits, so at the same, they're gonna repeat.
Right.
And like,
someone is blowing up my phone. I hope that's not affecting anything. Anyways, so yeah, like I just don't feel well. And then to me, because I'm not a crazy like a gym rat person, like even like my little brother is, or like you or anything. I feel like it's almost still being fake. Like, oh, I went to the gym today for once in 6 months. Like,
that's fair.
I don't know. I feel like it's weird for me to post. And again, all I do on my days off is I do a lot of behind the scenes stuff and the grocery store.
That's one of the things I struggle with, is you're supposed to post more of your personal life to your story.
Yeah.
You're supposed to post, like, what, 5 to 8 stories a day?
Well, and again, I think there's that balance of depending on the type of person you are, because I do post a lot of, like, personal memes. Like, I'll post a lot of, like, relatable content.
I'm always told to post your face more, though.
I know.
But
again, that's why I feel like that fake micro-influencer, like, you want me to sit in my car and say, so today, guys, I went to the grocery store and I bought a salad and some bowls for my meals this week, and here's what I'm cooking. And to me, that just doesn't feel like, especially because I talk to my clients so much, that you're going to hear that from me during your appointment.
Yeah.
Like, we talk about, oh, what did you make? All my clients know Tuesday is my designated prep day. And they'll be like, so what'd you make this week? If they're a cookie person, like a cooking person like I am. Or a cookie person. But anyways, so, and we'll like talk about it. So it's almost like, I don't know, like ruins the surprise.
That's fair.
So I think it just depends on, and I feel like maybe, again, if I was like a brand influencer, that made sense for, like, you know, you get those scam messages of like, oh, you do nails, we'd love to, mine's always, we'd love to send you rings, or sometimes I get like stuff that definitely doesn't apply, but the main one is like rings. And I'm like, if I was a jewelry ambassador, like something separate from nails, then maybe I would be like, oh, this is my outfit for today and it's really basic, but my earrings are from blah, blah, blah. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's one of the things I struggle with, is posting on my story. And, like, I used to be really good at posting on my personal stories, but even now I'm not great at that. I don't know. I've just kind of lost touch with social media right now.
Yeah.
And, like, in every, like, from personal to my business. And it's just because it is draining. Like, it's a really draining environment. And I just open and honestly, I really do struggle with imposter syndrome and thinking I'm not good enough and thinking where I'm not supposed to be with my business and everything.
Yeah, I think that's something that's really hard to get over for sure.
I think I had gotten so in my head with it this month because I have so many other things that happened this month, both past and present, unfortunately, that I think I just had to fully separate from looking at it. So, like, I've gotten to the point where I'm actually genuinely nervous to open the group chats I'm in on my business account, because I'm in 5 different group chats.
That's a lot.
Most of them have an overlap of people in them, and I haven't opened them in almost a month. I think I've opened them occasionally here and there, but I've never read anything in it. But now it's gotten to a point where I'm so overwhelmed with that I don't even want to open them, because I know I have like 30 days worth of things. And
if you just mark them as read.
Yeah, which I can. But people send like 100 messages a day in there, and I'm just like, what have I missed?
Yeah. I think for me, it's that it gets so in your, again, I even get so in my head about like, I could be doing better. I could be doing more. I should be more organized. How come they're doing this and I'm not, you know? And it's really hard to step away, because then, you know, it still wants you to be active.
Yeah, well, mine's accepted that I'm not active right now.
And I think, again, it just depends on, like, what your goals are for. I don't know. Like, the reason I've been trying to stay super active is because I'm waiting for the day that one of the brands I use goes, we want a brand ambassador, and I can go, me, look at how active I am.
That's fair. I communicate with the brand that I'm an ambassador for, so they know I've had a hard month.
See, and that's another reason I like them, though, is because I feel like they, and we've talked about this before, but, like, they genuinely
care.
Yeah, and, like, the pressure, it feels like a lot of the pressure that a lot of other brands put on their ambassadors is less with them. Yeah. Just from what you've told me.
I think their benefit is they have over 150, I think, brand ambassadors now, so they know that when one isn't active, they have tons of others that are active.
Right.
So I also feel like they're less stressed in that manner about it. But it's just... It's ran by a normal girl and her husband. Like, they're normal people. It's not this massive company where, like, the person who runs it is a mystery, or, like, the person who runs it has been running it for 5-10 years. So, like, they're so almost not involved anymore because they got it established and now they're kind of hands off, but they're there. No, this is, like, a really personal company ran by a husband and wife team, and they care about every single person that they have involved in it. And I think they're always going to be that way. Like, yes, they've only been around for just over a year now, but they're the kind of people that I can tell they're always going to put their heart into the people that are involved in their brand, and that's what makes them such a good brand to work for. Because I would feel like if I was a brand ambassador for any other brand right now, especially the big ones out there, they would have no regard, no care for the fact that my personal life has kind of been a nightmare. And they would just be like, well, you didn't do your 8 posts this month, like, sorry, you're no longer a part of our brand ambassador program. It's like, ouch, okay, well, I just had... Yeah. Sometimes you have to take a break for your mental health. It doesn't even have to matter what the external factors are.
I don't know if what I'm doing is hurting me more because I do so much, like, I guess, free advertising. Like, if I use a product that I love, I tag it.
No, Maddie swears by... That's the owner of my brand. Maddie swears by she picks her brand ambassadors based off of who is posting about her products.
That's why I like them too. Because again, I feel like a lot of brands will pick, and that's why I have high hopes for the brand that I'm trying to be a brand ambassador for, or whatever they want to call it. Is I feel like a lot of them will just pick people that have a high reach or that they have, and not people who care about the content. Like, I feel like if you make a post about it, I believe you because you care about the content versus... And, like, when I make a post, because I've built so much trust with people, I think, as a brand, that they would trust, oh my gosh, if Emma really likes this, then it must be really good, and, like, why would she lie, you know, because I'm not going to. And I've definitely followed some people where I'm like, this video felt like you had to do it. And you were like, oops, I forgot, so I, like, had to do it.
There's a lash brand that completely revamped their entire brand ambassador program and how it works, and now, like, a few of my lash friends are ambassadors for them, and they're not a bad lash brand. I'm not bashing them as a lash brand, but I can tell that they tell their ambassadors to post specific things because they have so many similar things that pop up on my feed that it almost seems choreographed. The only time us, for Lightheart, seem choreographed is when they launch a new product, but that's because...
Everybody talks about it at the same time.
Yeah, and that's because her stuff is, and I genuinely mean this from the bottom of my heart, her stuff is so good that it's, like, hard to not talk about it almost, right. Especially, like, when it was the lash cleanser that was for the public use, and it was something we were retailing. I feel like we were all talking about it consistently, or the new lash
But everything
color.
was still very different, because now I follow you and 2-3 other girls that are ambassadors, and it's still all, like, different content. There are a few people that I used to follow that... Their stuff definitely felt forced, like kissing up in a weird way.
Yeah.
It didn't feel as believable as some of the stuff from the past, which I also don't like, but anyways.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
I don't know what I'm doing wrong.
I don't think you're doing anything wrong. I don't know.
I don't know.
That's the thing with social media. I don't think there is any right or wrong, and I think that's the baseline of this, is everybody approaches it differently. I think, like, my pet peeve right now is just the fake it till you make it. That is my biggest issue with social media, and I think that's why I needed the mental brain break, because since so many people are approaching it that way, it seems like I am almost miles behind, and I know realistically I'm not.
Well, I think we do get caught up in the amount of, like, engagement and followers and views when that doesn't really determine our worth.
Yeah, and it doesn't determine... A lot of my... I'm trying to think where my new clients have come from. I feel like a lot of my new clients recently have either been a Facebook group because somebody else mentioned me. I didn't even mention myself because I've also been taking a break from that. Word of mouth has finally seemed to kick up, so thank you guys. And then I have a few that have found me through Google, which is always fascinating to me. And I should really probe them more for what they Googled to specifically find me.
A lot of my people are... Google, word of mouth. I have several people who are like, I have that little section where it's like, where'd you find me? And I have several people who are like, oh, my friend or my coworker or whatever, I always love her nails and I want to come see you. And then when I got certified with Luminary, which is my builder gel that I use, they put me on their, they have like the salon locator.
Oh, yeah.
And I get I feel like it's about 50% the locator and 50% word of mouth, and then, or maybe like 40 and 40. And then the other 20% is just random Google or kind of Instagram, but again, it's people searching for a specific brand. So
I think I have maybe gotten 2 or maybe 3 clients from my business account on Instagram. I think everything else has been word of mouth, because even the Facebook groups is word of mouth. It's clients commenting about me. And Google a few times, but I think primarily it's word of mouth or posting Facebook groups, like where it really comes from. So I think we all really stress about Instagram for no reason. It's a wonderful, if anything, your Instagram should be your portfolio.
Yeah.
That should be your goal with your Instagram, is to have a beautiful portfolio of your work and who you are. Because at the end of the day, people want to see what you're doing, and we run our own businesses, so it's just us when you go in, and I personally think it's really important that people know what we look like when they go in, kind of have a vibe of who we are, know a little bit about us, because if you're going to be in a room alone with somebody, you kind of want to know who you're going to be in, which isn't really fair to us, because I don't know who's coming to me.
But I think it's like putting the type of person you are out there.
No, I'm just kidding.
You're right. But definitely putting the type of person you are out there will attract similar people.
And that's
I feel like most of my most of my clients that I have, I think we get along very well, and they, we have that same kind of vibe.
But I think at the end of the day, with your social media, just focus on it being a portfolio and a representation of you.
And it's hard. It's
not
hard.
Easy.
I mean, I do all the time. I'm like, you know what? Screw this. I don't care. It's fine. I'm just going to post what I want to post and what's pretty. And then I'll be like, I'm so close to 800 followers. I could have 800 followers. And then I'm like, why does it matter? Because that's something else I don't get, is like, I found someone the other day, and I couldn't tell if it was just a situation, like what I'm about to say, or if it was because they bought all their followers.
Yes.
But they had 2,000 followers, and each post only had like 50 likes or comments or something. Like it doesn't have a ton of engagement. But then like I have whatever it is, 782 or something right now. And nobody comments on my stuff unless it's their nails. Like, I feel like people, when they're like, those are my hands, will be like, I love this set.
That's fair.
But I don't really get a ton of
comments.
Yeah, I don't get a ton of views either. That's why I don't know if I'm just not being pushed. Because some things I will, and I can tell, oh, all of my followers saw that. And then some things, I did have a funny thing. I might have mentioned this in a previous episode. I had a client come in and she was like, I saw these really pretty nails, and I wanted to know if you would be able to do it. And she pulled it up, and it was one of my videos.
That's so cute.
And I was like, oh, that's me. And she was like, is it really? I was like, yeah.
That's so cute.
And I was like, oh, I wish that's how everyone was.
That is so
like,
cute.
these are so cute. Do you think you can do them? Oh, I've actually already done it. I
That's
can.
So cute.
I can do that. Yeah, it's really hard. I definitely, personal and business, social media really.
It's just taxing.
Hits me.
So I kind of had to take a break. But I kind of need to practice what I preach, is like just posting authentically me and things that feel right to me. Because I feel, I don't know, I have a lot of stuff I want to talk about, like on the podcast too as well. And it's just like, I never know how to approach it. Because like, they're kind of dark topics, but they're important topics, and it's a part of who I am, and it's like stuff I really stand for and like I want to represent.
Stuff, yeah.
And it's just like, it's stuff that needs to be known too. Like, it's educational stuff that's really helpful. But it's like, I talked to a friend when I was at LashCon last year about the fact that I want to advocate for this and everything, especially during the awareness month for it. But I just don't know how to approach it, because I don't want to make the podcast sad. I don't want to make the social media sad. And I'm not even approaching it from a sad standpoint, but since it's a sad topic, I fear that people are going to automatically, like, feel sadness from it.
Yeah, I think it just depends on the audience, I guess. I don't
Yeah.
know.
I
Which
don't
it's
know.
hard to gauge who's going to see it because, like we just talked about, you never know.
I've been battling with that thought that was October, so like for 6 months now, I've been like, well, it's a part of who I am, and I want to advocate it.
I will say, one of the nail girlies that I don't know if build a relationship is the right word, but we engage a lot on social media. Yeah. She recently started being very open politically, and that was something that she was very passionate about and that she wanted her clients to know. And we're told in beauty school, don't talk about this and whatever. And it's not something that I really am passionate about, so that's why I believe in separating it. But she did it, and it really, like, a lot of the topics that she posts about are very sad and depressing, but then other people know that they can go to her and talk about their
and that's why I
concerns.
My specific subject. That's why I want to post about it, because I feel like it's something that will attract the people that need it. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. I don't want to drag my social media down and make it sad, because I'm not a sad person.
I think too, though, if you just did it in like maybe don't like post every day to start, but like, you posted during the month of, to bring awareness to, the same way people during like breast cancer awareness will post, hey, I was a breast cancer survivor, did you know that? I think that would be a way to like kind of test the waters.
Gotta wait till October, which is ironically also
October is the month. October is also Safe Pedestrian Month.
Okay, October is awareness for everything apparently, but that's the month.
It's so weird that It's so weird that I was like, why? I noticed that because one of the signs on the roads that I drive down to work always has, it's blah 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 awareness month. Be aware of this. I think.
Well, maybe we should not be specifying streets.
Yeah, there's a big sign, but I don't know what it says now because I actually don't drive that way anymore. That's for my old job.
I was trying to wonder where it was. I don't think I take that.
It's closer to Lone Tree, I think.
I just totally realized everybody has our business addresses, so this negligible information actually.
I don't think you'll find my house from it, although
you never know.
Yeah. Anyways, but yeah, it was really funny because it said something like, and I thought, oh, it's a blah 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 awareness, and then it said it's Pedestrian Safety Awareness Month. Watch out for bicyclers or something, and I was like, why is everything in October? Do the committees not get together and go, oh, we should overlap? Yeah, we should do this in this month, and we should do this in this month, and work around all the different months, because I feel like you've got October, which is everything.
October truly
is, and then you have everything. Pride Month, and it's like there's no other month with anything in it, unless I just am unaware of this, and maybe every month has multiple awarenesses, but
but the ones that are most talked about are October.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think something I need to just accept, because I just said on here to do it, is I just need to be me on my business account, and I'll just proceed with that mindset.
I posted one thing, it might have actually done pretty well, but I posted one thing where it was talking about not using your nails as tools, and the caption was like, what people use their nails as tools, and then underneath it was like, how to solve the situation, and the answer for everything was like, number 1, use a knife. Number 2, use a knife. Number 3, you guessed it, used a knife. And all of that stuff, and I thought it was hilarious. But I was like, are some people gonna think that I'm being really mean because they can't hear my tone in my post?
I don't think so. I think it's funny.
Yeah, okay.
It's just finding that line. Anyways, social media doesn't matter. That's my conclusion.
That's the moral of this. Social media doesn't matter. Be yourself.
I think that's
go touch some grass. I feel like I need to touch grass today.
Get off of your phone.
Yes.
You finished watching our episode, now go take a social media break for the day.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, I don't know. I just always have such a negative connotation when it comes to social media, and I think that's part of the reason I can't be consistent with it.
Yeah.
So, but at the end of the day, it genuinely doesn't matter, because People are coming to you for who you are and what your work looks like. So just make it a portfolio of your work and who you are.
I need to not get sucked into trying to find multiple wild streams of income.
Yeah, there's always that part.
That's why I keep being like, I want to be an influencer, because then extra income and I don't have to do as much. Or not do as much, but like I don't have to add anything to my workload in order to do that.
Oh, I was talking to one of my clients today, and her 10-year-old niece, her dream job, influencer.
I just saw a thing. This is really sad. So
that is really sad.
We're gonna make it sad, like we just said we weren't gonna do. No, but I just saw a thing that was this woman who she posted like 10 reasons that she dropped out of her teaching major or education major or whatever they call it. And one of them was because all kids say that they want to do is be a YouTuber or an influencer.
Yes.
She was like, they don't even understand that, like, policeman is a job, or
yes, it's crazy.
Or any doctor is a job, or whatever is a job. And it makes sense. I've witnessed it in, like, my cousins and stuff. A lot of them think very, almost like, which, of course, if they're kindergarteners, they don't know. But my cousins are middle school, high school. And you can tell, like, they're very small picture. They don't really think, like, big picture anymore. Like, I, of course, had my dreams when I was in high school. But I thought, big picture.
I wanted to be a veterinarian.
Yeah.
Never was I ever thinking of being an influencer or a YouTuber.
Yeah. I think I was definitely a little delulu, but I wanted to be a musician. And then when I started getting older and realized, musicians are really poor unless you're a Nepo baby, I pivoted to more like medical field stuff is what I thought I was going to do. And then now we're here. But yeah, but again, big picture, it was like, what's a job? Like a job. And I've even had, I hope my family's listening to this episode. Because I had one of my cousins tell me and my mom that because I want them to know, said that he just wanted a job where he didn't have to do anything, but he made a lot of money.
I mean, that's a mood.
I was like, same, bruh, but
it's not very.
But that's really sad that like none of them are finding things that they're passionate about. And I get it's hard when you're young, but like nothing, you don't have anything.
I think we're seeing the effects of growing up on social media because you and I were right the beginning. Mm-hmm. Because Instagram became a thing when I was in middle school. I believe I'm aging myself right now. Thanks.
That sounds about right.
Became a thing when I was in middle school. Same goes for Snapchat. Facebook had been around a bit longer. MySpace had already phased out by the time I was on social media. But, so I half grew up on social media. Like, I started on Instagram when I was around 12, I think. And even then, like, you could see, like, the toll it took on our generation was it caused a lot of anxiety and depression. I think you saw a huge spike in our generation because parents didn't know how to deal with it because they didn't grow up on social media, so they didn't know what we were going through.
We did some sketchy stuff.
Oh, yeah. And now you're going through this section where, like, the parents half grew up on social media, or they started on social media when they were late high school, college years, so they don't really know how it affects the developmental years.
Right.
And not to be rude, but people are giving their children technology at a much younger age than I would personally as a parent.
There's certain studies that are coming out saying that it really does affect the brain, how your brain develops, and your like attention span.
Attention span is a huge one.
I went to brunch today with my mom, and every kid had a cell phone.
Yep.
It's on a cell phone. There was a baby. She had to be cutest thing in the whole world, but she was watching, they had her watching YouTube. And I was like, we've gone from the teaching, it's like, to me, it's like a self-suit. This is totally, we're segueing crazy, but
it's based around social media.
Yeah. But I think kids are not learning how to like self-soothe even anymore. So they just, they're happy. I mean, that's where we get the iPad kids, is like they don't know how to control their emotions unless they're watching something.
Oh, I knew a kid that wouldn't eat unless she had her iPad in front of her, or TV, or like something. She had to have a screen to watch while she was eating, otherwise she wouldn't eat. Yeah. And I like to think, obviously, I don't have a kid, so I can't speak from any experience. But I know my parents didn't grow up putting a screen in front of my face when we went to a restaurant or when we were eating dinner as a family.
Mm-hmm.
I was actually raised with dinner with the family as a no tech zone. Like, it never, we weren't allowed our phones out. Phones had to be away from the table.
And I feel like if we ever did watch, like, if we were watching something, it was as a family together.
All on the TV. Yeah, which is what we do.
And it was on the TV,
now
and
that
it
we're
wasn't.
grown up. But as kids, my parents even kind of pushed that off, and they were like, no, we'll watch TV after dinner. So it's like, I like to think if I was a parent, I would be there.
I said, if I'm a parent, I think if my kid is unruly and my only choice is to put them in front of a screen, it's karma, and I did something that I'm being punished for. No, but I definitely think that whatever I have children, they will not. I didn't get a cell phone until I was 13. Like, and I think most of
12, and it was a keyboard phone. It was not a smartphone.
Yeah, I think mine was a smartphone, but it was a really bad smartphone. But anyways,
my smartphone was 15.
But I think too, like, we weren't getting those things until we were 12 or 13, and now kids are getting them when they're 2.
Literally.
So social media is toxic. The world is toxic.
Well, the thing with
we're just doing our best.
Yeah. I don't know. We all try our best.
Yeah. But I would like to think that when I'm a parent, I'm not gonna.
I don't want my kid on social media in elementary.
Well, I just think now that I've grown up and my frontal lobe has developed, I think I like how I was raised. I liked how I was raised in that, like, family is center, and if we are going to watch something after dinner, before dinner, during dinner, it's together, and we're gonna be together, and we're gonna do all that. Versus everyone. And now, like, we are separated because we're just all adults and our schedules are crazy and stuff, but we still make time, especially, like, we're gonna eat dinner together because we're all here. We might as well, you know?
Yeah.
So I would like to think that we would do that. I even just sent my boyfriend some stuff for when we move out. I'm a big not talking when I get home. And there was a thing that was like stretches you can do with your partner when you get home from work.
Oh, that's cute.
Where you're both having kind of like little touches, like holding hands while you like do the like stretching, but you don't have to talk and you're stretching, which is really good for both of us and our jobs. I think it's good to step back and disconnect, which is why we took our break also, was so we could enjoy.
Yeah, we had things to enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
And I just needed a brain break too. Yeah. But life gets hard, and that's okay. And when it does get hard, take a step back from what you know is draining you. And one of my huge drains all the time is social media. So
I realized during our break that I wanted us to post kind of more motivational quotes on our Instagram too. So I did that for during our rest period. And I was like, I kind of like that, because I was really struggling with finding things to post besides just clips from our episodes. And so I was like, that's a good way to, like, things that resonate with me that I see that I'm like, oh, I liked that.
Yeah.
So I'm going to try and start doing that too.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah. But I think that's all I have to say about social media. It's not my favorite, as I've advertised.
We can rant as usual.
Loudly. I see the purpose for it. It's there for a reason. If more people could use it correctly, that would be great. But our social medias will still be in the caption. So if you want to go follow them, go ahead.
I do post a lot on my story. I do try to be personable. So, yeah. As usual, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, you can message us through our social media. I do like it for that as well.
Yeah, it's good for communication. Yeah. And then we have a few episodes planned out, but if you guys have any recommendations or suggestions for future episodes,
or if you ever want us to expand on something that we've already talked about, we can do that.
Because we can talk for days about anything. So.
Yeah, hopefully. If you're interested in us having a more... Not that this wasn't a serious episode either, but having a more serious talk about some of the things that we have mentioned in the past as well. We'd love to know if you guys don't, if you guys want to ignore that, or if you want to know about it.
We have things we want to talk about, but we don't know if you guys want to hear. So any feedback on that is more than welcome.
I think we'll get to a point where we're like,
we're just doing it.
We're doing it. It's fine. But if you tell us, it'll determine how quickly we do it. So yeah, as usual, social media for the podcast, us, caption, any things we might have mentioned that you may need will also be in the caption.
Yeah. But thank you for tuning in.
Yeah.
And we'll see you in a couple weeks.
Bye.